Hey there guys, I'm back again with another video and sharing my opinions about certain things. I had a lot of things on my mind, and I'm going to be talking mainly about those things. Again, read my book when I get that published. It's probably never going to get published because, I'm an independent homeschooled kid, or past homeschooled kid. Who's going to read that book? But anyway, a lot of my opinions are based off of what I've written in my book. All I can say is, it's all in my book. Go read my book. But I didn't publicize the book or anything. But anyway, forget my book. I want to talk about some of the things that I've been thinking about and share some of my feelings, as always, my very opinionated feelings. Anyway, I'm shooting this video at night. It's dark outside, so I'm using some artificial lighting here, and so I got a big shadow on my whiteboard, and I look like an angel on the right side and a demon on the left side, so you guys are just going to have to deal with it. What I wanted to talk about was life. Right, life. What is life? The meaningful things in life. Is life meaningful? Is life worth it? What is there about life that keeps me from shooting myself? Is it going to change anything? Is it going to change anything if I die today? Is it going to change anything if you die today? Is it going to change anything? Does life have a meaning? And if it does have a meaning, what are the meaningful things in life? And if we understand what the meaningful things in life are, can we pursue them with all of our might to do it, to live that life, and to have a meaningful life? What has meaning? And I'll tell you a little story. I was actually on vacation, and these thoughts were running through my brain. I like skiing, okay? Skiing is my favorite thing to do. It is the best thing. If you ask me what my favorite thing to do is, it's snowboarding, okay? I love snowboarding. It is like the best thing in the world. It's fun. And I was on vacation, and I remember finally going skiing again, finally going snowboarding. And I was going down the hill. I was probably going down the hill at about 30 miles an hour. It was fun. I'm having a blast. And I was thinking as I was cruising down this hill, what's the point in this? Yeah, it's fun. But what's the point? What am I going to gain from this? Nothing. I'm not really going to gain anything. I'm just gaining this excitement just for the moment. And I was like, this cost a lot of money to come here. I sat in the car a long time to get here. What am I going to gain from it other than a possible broken bone? What am I going to gain from it? And this was going through my mind, and I did enjoy it. I'm not going to say I hated my entire trip, but it really made me think about some things. And at the end of our skiing trip, we were at a hotel in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and we were about to head on back home. Well, that night, I couldn't sleep, and I got up in the middle of the night, and I went down into the lobby room, and I was looking for something to do. I grabbed a small cup of coffee, very small cup of coffee, like that much. I didn't drink much. I wanted to sleep. But anyway, I grabbed a cup of coffee, and I was looking for something to do. And I saw this paper with some crowns for little kids to pick up and draw, so they weren't nagging their parents. And so I picked this up, and I drew this piece of paper, just coloring it in, just thinking. And this is the little picture I drew. It's really good, actually, for drawing inside the lines. I'm not going to lie. I'm not an artist. But I'm like a master at drawing inside the lines of crayons. I'm very proud of myself. But anyway, I drew this thing, and I was like, what's the meaning? What is really the purpose and the meaning of life? And I started thinking, what are the meaningful things in life? And what are the things that I should pursue when I go back home? And so I flipped the paper over, and I pulled out my pen. I always keep a pen in my shirt. And I started writing up these little things. And what I did was I wrote 3 lists here. I had a list. I wrote the things that were meaningful. I wrote the things that were just recreational. For example, things that were meaningful, things that had substance and meaning to life. Recreational, things that were just pleasurable to ourselves, that didn't gain us anything and didn't do anything for anyone else. And then I also had another list that listed things that were both meaningful as well as recreational. So things that we enjoyed but also had meaning to them. And I kind of wanted to draw these out on a board and just try to explain why I believed these things were meaningful, recreational, or both. And to help, maybe help you guys see what things are meaningful. It's just my opinion. So let me go ahead and start off by drawing these 3 lines, and you might not be able to see it because my whiteboard isn't quite as close. I'm going to draw 3 lines here. This is going to be 1. This is going to be the meaningful side. Alright, so this will be our meaningful things. I hope you could read that. I'll just write meaning. I'll write meaningful. Meaningful things. I probably spelled that wrong. So meaningful have 2 L's or 1? Maybe it just says 1. I don't know. It doesn't matter. You get the gist. And recreational. These are the things that don't matter. And then things that are both. So things that can be both enjoyed. Meaningful enjoyment is what I wrote. So I'll just write meaningful enjoyment. You probably can't read that on the computer. Recreational. Meaningful things are for typically selfless things. I'm just assuming. And recreational are for selfish things. They're not bad, they're just things that please me. So typically meaningful things are selfless. And these are self-enjoyment. Or selfish. I just don't like using the word selfish because that sounds like bad. And it doesn't even look like you can read that on there. Self-enjoyment. Whatever. That's what it says. Selflessness, self-enjoyment, and meaningful enjoyment. And I thought I could think of what the meaningful things were in life by writing out this list. And these are just a couple of things that I thought out. And what is really interesting is I found some things that related to to these lists. And I'll talk about that here in a minute. So let me think of some things that are meaningful. Things that I believed were meaningful and had an impact on other people's lives. And let me talk about some of the meaningful things that I thought up. First of all, first word that pops in my head, I'm always talking about it, love. Okay, so we have all these different kinds of loves. We have brotherly love, we have sexual love, we have agape love, which is Hebrew for godly love. And so let me write this. We have brotherly love. That's meaningful. Now let me just do this. Let's write love. Okay. But we also have different kinds of that love. We have brotherly love. I'm not going to be able to read that. Yeah. Brotherly. And we have, I'm going to run out of space, we have sexual love, and some will debate on whether that's recreational. I think it can be both. So I'm going to leave that over here. I'll leave sexual love over here. I think brotherly love and agape love. Agape love is godly love. Oh, agape, godly. Can you even read that? I'll try to make it bigger. But anyway, you get the gist here. What else has meaningfulness in life? I believe family is a source of love, but I'll just write family. And I believe family plays a huge part in meaningfulness. I believe family is very important, and it can play a part in being meaningful. Smiling, sharing, those are selfless things. Counseling, forgiving, helping, card writing cards to people, and all of these things, they sum up into, smiling, sharing. These are all things that are giving. Writing cards, forgiving, those are all giving. And so I would say giving is very meaningful. What else do we have? Aware of the needy. I wrote that. That's part of the giving. If you're aware of somebody in need, you're going to be willing to give to them. Okay, that's what they need. Positive comments. Giving people a thumbs up. You did a good job there. That's giving. That's giving verbal. That's giving verbally. Smiling, sharing, helping, counseling, forgiving, card writing. What else did I write? These are the things that I wrote, and love is the main one I want to hit on. And I'm going to make that bigger, actually, so you can see that. Because you don't want to forget that. I think these are just some of the three of the things that I thought up that I believed were very important. Now, what about selfish things? What about recreational things in life that we strive for? Traveling. A lot of people want to travel, after they quit their job and they've already had their kids and, they want to travel and they want to have fun. Traveling's great. I'm not saying it's not meaningful, but really, when you die, what's it going to matter if you went to Las Vegas? What's it going to matter if you went to Alaska? What's it going to matter if you went, Jerusalem? I want to go to Jerusalem so bad. And that could be meaningful. I don't, biblically, because you can see where Jesus lived. You could, see the Wailing Wall or whatever that's called. That could be meaningful, but I'm going to keep that in the recreational list. Vacation, traveling. Vacation's another one. But then vacation could also play a huge part in your family. So you could connect that with, you could put vacation over here too, because vacation helps you connect with your family. But I'm still going to put that in the recreational area because what are you going to get if you went to Disney World? So what? You went to Disney World. When you die, is it going to matter if you shook Mickey Mouse's hand? No, it's not really going to matter. It's not going to play any big part. Cars. Cars can be recreational. They're useful, but so what? If you rode a bike all of your life, it's not going to matter. It's not going to change your life. Cars can be recreational. Money. Fame. Money. That is a huge one. Fame. Some people live for fame. So what? If you were popular. Doesn't matter when you die. Glory. That's fame. Easy sex. That is a very popular one. And that one's horrible because not only is it meaningless, and not only is it typically a sin if you're just using it for easy sex, it also hurts other people in this lifetime if you're just going for it easy. Stay away from that one. That is definitely recreational, and that is definitely a selfish one. Binging. Binging on alcohol. That is definitely recreational. That's just one I thought of because I know a lot of people that binge. They don't get anything from it. They get on a high. They get sick. They throw up. It has no meaning, though. It really doesn't. It makes you happy for about 30 minutes. And then, holy crap, I hate my life. That's pretty much what it does. It's meaningless. It's void. And on the last thing I wrote on this list was snowboarding. Snowboarding's not bad. Snowboarding's a lot of fun. I love snowboarding. I still love snowboarding. I still would love to go to Colorado and go snowboarding again. But when you're going up this ramp at 30 miles an hour, and you're like, yes, I'm going to do a tail grab. And then you're like, oh wait, I just crashed, and now my knee's broken. It really makes you think twice, okay? So, I'm not saying I did that. I did land on my head once. And that's what really made me start thinking. I couldn't see straight for a whole day. Like, I thought I was going to go blind. It was really freaky. But anyway, that doesn't matter. These are just some of the recreational things that I wrote down. And notice there's a lot more recreational stuff than meaningful stuff. And I'm just saying, some of you might think cars are meaningful. Some of you might think money's meaningful. I'm thinking about life and death. I'm thinking about what's going to be meaningful after death. Love. Your love is going to stay there until after you die. It's important. God gave us that. That's what God said was important. I can't hammer that one enough. love is it, man. Okay? Family. There can be love in family. And I do believe when you go to heaven, your family's going to be there. I might be wrong. I hope I'm not wrong. I really do. But I do believe that family is important, and I do believe that family will be there in the afterlife. So yeah, I'm speaking of all this from a moral background and moral Christian beliefs. Giving. Some people would beg to differ on that one. Because, so what if you gave to somebody in this life? I'll tell you what. If you give love, if you give life, if you give someone a smile, if you write them a nice card, if you forgive them, if you give counseling, that can change their hellish life here on this earth and maybe bring them to a world in the afterlife, into a world into heaven. And I think that's where ministry plays a big part. Ministry should be giving in ministry, and I've talked about in my other videos. If ministry is for selfish gain, if ministry is for recreational things, if ministry is for money, if ministry is for fame, if ministry is for easy sex, and yes, it has happened. If ministry is about binging, yes, that has happened. If ministry is about snowboarding, you hear about people, oh yeah, I'm snowboarding for Jesus, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm playing basketball for Jesus. I'm playing football for Jesus. I'm not saying you can't, I'm just saying, what are you getting from this? I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm just not a big sports fan. Ministry should be giving. And if you're giving, good job. If you're giving, or if you're ministering out of love, good job. If you're ministering with your family, good job. Keep it up. Meaningful things, I believe, are selfless. Now, what about this thing over here? Can things be both recreational and meaningful? This is my opinion. These are some of the things that I wrote. Some people will disagree. And the first thing that I wrote down on this list, believe it or not, was sexual love. It's love, but it's sexual. It's one of the only forms of love that are really fun. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying I've had sex. I'm just saying it's recreational and it's very meaningful. Okay? It just is. I'm not going to go into this. And the other things I wrote down was music. I think music can play a big part. And I'm not saying that just because I'm a rapper. I'm saying that because music touches the emotion, and music can definitely influence people's lives on this earth to influence their lives in the afterlife. And that's why I wrote music. Speaking, communication, comedies, teaching. All these things are speaking. They can be teaching. Some people would argue the point of whether teaching is recreational. Some people teach and they hate their job. I personally love speaking. I'm sure you guys have probably noticed this. And to me, this is kind of a recreational moment for me. I don't get to talk in front of a camera every single day. I enjoy it. I really do. And so I'm going to put communication on here because I believe that communication, for example, in ministry, as you probably heard my other video talking about preaching, how I kind of bashed a lot of preachers. I wasn't bashing preachers directly. What I was basically saying was, it's bad to be a preacher and try to be something. Trying to be that preacher, trying to be that good person, that guy on that high seat, that guy behind the pulpit that's supposed to get all that glory and fame. But communication could be talking to somebody on Facebook. It could be talking about ministering in that form. But any kind of communication, making them laugh, comedies. You can change people's life in communication, and it can also be recreational. And I think comedy routines is a very good example of that. Because it's fun to give a comedy routine, it's fun to laugh at a comedy routine, but it can also, if it is fruitful, especially morally fruitful comedy routines, it can have a very big impact on people in the afterlife and bring them closer to Christ. It really can. So I put that one down there. And these other fun ones that I decided to write, I forgot to put art there. And some people would beg to differ on that one, but some people paint. Some people like, to draw things. And say, how could that bring somebody closer to Christ? How could that matter in the afterlife? How could that be meaningful? in the same way that music is. You know, for some people, my screen went out, there we go. And for some people, music or art can be just as emotionally impacting as music. Me, I mean, I can look at a painting and I can go, wow, that looks like a big blob of paint. And it doesn't do anything. Whereas some people can look at a picture on the wall and go, oh my goodness, my life has changed. This is exactly what I was feeling. I'm going to be closer to Christ now. Okay. Have fun with that. But, you know, it's true. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to look at this and they're going to go, oh, my life has changed. Those reindeer are so cute. You know, I just don't think that's going to happen. But anyway, that is true. And I think art, or drawing art, can be recreational and it can be meaningful. So I do think it can be both and it can be meaningful enjoyment. And these last ones that some people are going to laugh at, and I honestly think it's true, is coffee and alcohol. Many people will, I think the majority of my listeners, I don't know if I'm going to spell alcohol right. Did I spell it right? That's an H. Oh well, whatever. Coffee and alcohol, or in this case, caffeine. I should spell this one right. I probably didn't. But anyway, I believe coffee, or in this case caffeine, and alcohol can play a very big part in meaningfulness. Some people beg to differ with that. I'm a coffee lover. I'm a soda lover. I love Dr. Pepper, okay? I love caffeine. I love the feeling that it makes me feel. And actually, if you go and research this stuff, caffeine actually does the exact same thing that crack, or in this case cocaine, does, only on a smaller scale. It's kind of an interesting fact I just thought I'd share with my fellow coffee lovers out there. Coffee and caffeine, they give you a small high. They give you a small euphoria feeling. And I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. You just won't admit it. You just say, oh, I drink coffee because it wakes me up. Well, whatever. You drink it because it gives you a small euphoria. Okay, just admit it. Nicotine's the same way. If any of you guys have smoked in the past, nicotine will do the exact same feeling to you. Alcohol. Oh, and why do I think that this is both recreational as well as meaningful? Well, as you guys have probably noticed, people drink coffee also public to help them speak, to help them think. If you're studying the Word of God and you want to understand the Word of God better, drink caffeine, drink coffee. You will understand it better. Don't drink coffee and caffeine to get high on the spirit. Please, don't do that. I've seen that so many times. It makes me sick. You can get high on the spirit without a drug, okay? If you have the love of God in you, you can do this. Don't use a drug to do that, okay? That's not meaningful. Don't do that at all. But if you're using it to study the Word of God, great. If you're using it to help you speak to other people in public, use it. Use it. It's a good drug, okay? It's great. Alcohol. And many people will beg to differ on this one. This is always used for recreational purposes, okay? Or medicinal purposes. But in this case, I believe it can. And some of you don't agree that alcohol is right. Some of you believe alcohol is wrong. I'll respect that. But go read the Bible. Okay, go read the Bible. They talk about alcohol and wine and stuff all the time. The only time they spoke ill of alcohol was when people were getting drunk. And when they were having sex with people they shouldn't have been having sex with. Okay? Too much of a good thing is not a good thing. But alcohol can play a very big part in socializing as well. Any of you guys have probably been with a big group of people who you're nervous to be around. And you're like, dang it, I can't think straight. I'm not going to talk to these people right. And then you go in the group of people, and they're all having a glass of wine. Some of them have a little too much wine, but they're very sociable. And they will share things about their lives, and they will spur one another on towards good works, if you will, and it humbles them. Alcohol humbles people, okay? It just does. Don't get drunk. Don't have sex with people. Just drink it the way it's supposed to be drunk, okay? Not drunk. Just drink it the way it's supposed to. That's my opinion, and so I believe it can be both. It can help you. The Bible even says to drink wine. I mean, come on. It's good for your stomach. And how does the dude say in Ecclesiastes? Solomon says, drink your wine and enjoy your life. Don't get drunk on it, okay? Just whatever. Some of you will beg to differ on those things, but that's why I talked into depth about it, because I do believe that it can play those parts. That's what I feel. And I think these things are the things that play the most meaningful things in life. Love. If you ain't got love, you ain't got nothing. You can have faith to move mountains, and you can be a martyr burned in the flames, as the Bible says. But if you don't have love, you got nothing. And I think that plays the biggest part. And as Jesus even said, have the love of God, and that sums up the law and the prophets. Don't focus on the law, focus on the love. The law is not meaningful unless you have love. As soon as you have love, then focus on the law, and that can be meaningful. Focus on your family, and in giving to your family as well as giving to others. I don't mean to preach, I'm not trying to make a direct demand, but I do believe that these are the things that have meaning. And for all those people out there that are asking themselves, what really is the meaning to life? And I've talked to a lot of people who are suicidal. I've talked to a lot of people who hate their lives. And I myself am a very deep thinker. I can't help it. I think deeply about this kind of stuff. And honestly, it tortures me. It really does. And these are the things that I thought about. And these are the conclusions that I've come to. And I think, not to be all like spiritual and stuff. Well, I am trying to be spiritual and stuff because that's the only thing there. The only thing I've realized was really important was what's written in these pages. What's written in the Bible. Read Ecclesiastes. You'll hear that guy. He'll tell you over and over and over and over again. He'll say, Solomon, it's Solomon who's saying this. He says, I've done it all. I've had it all. I've had everything. And it's meaningless. It's completely void. There's no reason to move on other than to have love. And he also says, enjoy your life. Enjoy the fruits of your labor, as Solomon says. But have the love of God, as said in Galatians. Galatians is what's important. Galatians is what tells you works are meaningless unless you have love. Jesus said that. Your works are meaningless without love. So you can follow every rule in this Bible, but if you don't have love, it's meaningless. Your life is completely void. Everything you ever did, everything in ministry, was all recreational. Maybe your depression is recreational. Some people like being depressed, or they act like it. Some of us, even in ministry, we focus on everything that's both recreational and meaningful. Churches, they drink coffee. Catholics, they drink alcohol. Art, some people draw Christian art. That's great. Some people write Christian rap music. That's what I do. It's all recreational. It's all for me. For me. Or I say it is. Or I say it's for God, but it's really more for me than for God a lot of the time. Communication. I like to communicate. I like to make these videos. But it's recreational. I enjoy it. So love, sexual love. I'm sure that time will come for me. But until then, I've been trying to focus on what is truly meaningful and legitimately meaningful. And I want to be able to jump out of here. And I want to be able to go to here. Completely selfless. And completely meaningful. I want to have a family. I don't have a family yet. But we can ignore that one for now. But I can give. We single people can give. We single people who are alone and some of us are depressed. We can give. And we can love. With brotherly love and agape love, which is godly love. We can do those three things. And I believe those are the things that are meaningful. And that is the conclusion that I have come to. And the reason why I wanted to make this video is to share with fellow brothers in Christ, or even people who don't claim to be Christians. I do believe that Christianity is the true meaning of life. And these are the three things that we can focus on. Brotherly love, agape love, godly love, and giving to people selflessly. Don't focus on what's both recreational and giving. Focus on what's truly selfless and giving. If you want to take a break, go on vacation. If you like cars, save up for a car. Enjoy the fruits of your labor, as Solomon said. But don't focus on it. Focus on what's meaningful. And these are the conclusions that I've come to. And I hope that I've provided hope and maybe stability for someone who didn't know. And I'm sure there's other things that I didn't write down. But until you guys fill in those blanks, then, or I fill in those blanks, you'll never know. So live your life. Live it so it's meaningful. Thanks for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video.